Which state? New York. Which of these states? Which state borders the Mississippi River? Illinois.
나 인도자.
Which of these states is South? Which state shares a land border with New Hampshire? Which state borders the Atlantic Ocean? Florida. Which state borders the Mississippi River? Iowa. Which state borders the Atlantic Ocean? Hawaii, Maryland. Which state shares a border with Arizona? Which state borders the Atlantic Ocean? South Carolina. Which state shares a border with Delaware?
저비.
Which state borders Texas? Which state borders Pennsylvania? Which state borders the Mississippi? West Virginia. I am Louisiana, and I border the Mississippi River. Which of these states is Vermont?
Yes, so is Pennsylvania. Yes, so is Pennsylvania.
Which of these? Which state borders Nebraska? I am Kentucky and I border the Mississippi River. Which of these states is called Which of these states? I am Utah. Which of these states is North? I am North Dakota. Which of these states is Which state borders the Great Lakes? Wisconsin.
New Hampshire.
Which state borders Illinois? I am Mississippi and I am Mississippi and I border the Gulf of Mexico. Which state borders the Wyoming? I am Alabama and I border the Gulf of Mexico. Which state shares a Wyoming? I am Iowa and I am Iowa and I share a border with Minnesota. Which state share Colorado? I am Oregon and I share a border with California. Which of these states is Washington? Which state borders Minnesota? Which state shares Ohio? I am Connecticut and I share a border with Rhode Island. Which state borders West Virginia? I am Maine and I border the Atlantic Ocean. Which state shares a border Ohio?